Give yourself a pat on the shoulder because you made a huge progress there. Body complete, glass looks gorgeous, base, roof, hanger finished, cake almost done. All is left is to add the finishing touch to your masterpiece. Hey, if your content ain't printing enough money while you sleep, your click and conversion heart rate is super low, then got little secret for you. Check it out. Your sales ain't gonna be the same again. Literally could be the best 6-figure hack you will ever discover today. Without further ado, mesh, cylinder, scale up, give it a horizontal flip, R, Y, 90, and hit enter. If wrong direction, just put a negative number, squash it down, a bit more, that should do it. Do the usual transform and origin reset, duplicate, pull it aside, make it bigger with an SX, bring it here, this will be your cutter, and this will be your target. We'll show you what I mean in a moment. Make sure target selected, modifiers, boolean, difference operator is what you want, grab eyedropper tool, select cutter, cutter can go, there you go. Thanks to the cookie cutter, making your crescent was a piece of cake. You saved manual labor work this time. Okay, I believe this one is brass too, so set material to brass, bring it up here, give it a smooth shade, and now we got a little problem here. Notice how graphics looks wacky, something doesn't look quite right here, feels like could use some ironing. That's because you got a rendering issue and reason is there are ingons around. Let me brief you on what they are. You see you got 3 types of geometry. This is a triangle, this is a quad, anything above is ingon, all called polygons. I won't go too crazy with the details, but here is a general rule of thumb. If you want a good topology, whenever possible, quads are your best bet. Triangles or tris for short are fine, but they are not as versatile. This one is what you want to avoid. And your crescent got several of these, so let's fix that. First, delete all but this area. To do that, face select, select, invert, shortcut here by the way, and just hit delete faces. Vertex mode, shift select, press J to join. This is a triangle, and this one is a quad. We could go all quad, but it's gonna take more time at work. All shape is simple, don't need fancy stuff like loop cuts, so triangles are fine too. If the whole quads, tris, and ingons question still confuse the crap out of you, check this out by Grant Abbott. I've taken several courses from him. Impressive result, he's an expert, knows what he's talking about. With that said, if the should I use tris, code, ingon or whatever driving you nuts can't get it out of your head, I think this is the best professional advice you'll get from him. Links in the description below. Okay, all set. Next, add solidify. Bump up thickness, reset transform and origin, move auto smooth slider till you're happy, and there we go. Now visuals don't look pristine. In many situations you can get away with smooth shade. You see, the way it works is it adds clever shades and lighting to give you the illusion of depth. Much like how you make a circle looks 3D realistic when you add pencil strokes to fake details. Unfortunately, in a situation like this, you will have to add more geometry. You can take advantage of another modifier called subdivision to do that fast. You can adjust the res from here. 2 things to keep in mind when you choose to subdivide. 1. Quad subdivide better. Since yours got quads and tris in the cocktail, probably won't be as optimal had it all been quads. Not a big deal here, so wouldn't worry too much. 2. Extra geometry means more eye candy that will please your eyes, but with extra hefty hardware tax, if you're not careful. My advice, don't go too crazy with the numbers, see if you can minimize I think that's the best trade-off so far. And just move it around and scale. Okay, I don't know about you, but at this point it's hard to properly snap the crescent against the roof. If you're still in struggle because rotation is off, here is another tool you can try. Click rotate and drag along the Y curve for more precision. Okay, let's hop back to move and let's see what happens now. Perfect. Nicely planted in place. No odd slants, no gaps. Almost there. The last order of business is you make one for each side. You could clone, move and rotate around for each side. If you're the manual labor dude, go for it. If you want less pain, let me show you a sweet trick that will have the time for you. First, change pivot point from median to 3D cursor. Gonna assume your cursor is at origin, of course. If not, you know how to reset it. Duplicate with a Shift D and right away punch R, Z, -90 and hit enter. This will rotate clockwise against the Z axis to the next side neighbor. That's because median point is a 3D cursor. By the way, if your rotation is at the wrong direction, just change sign, negative or positive 90 depending on your situation. Had you left it at median point, which is the default, your crescent would have just spun around itself. That's why I asked you to change pivot point. Okay, don't need 3D cursor pivot anymore, so set it back to median. Now we could duplicate and give this a 180 rotate, or just repeat a 90 degree with this one for each side. That's totally fine, but I think mirror is better, so let's give it a shot. Modifiers and select mirror. Now you need to set two values properly because as you can see things are out of order. 1. Reflection axis. Here is the x-axis. And I see it's already set at X, so that's perfect. 2. Mirror object, that would be your roof. Easiest way to do that is grab the picker and click here. Boom, all set. All you gotta do is repeat the same for here, only exception is Y axis. And believe it or not, you're done. If you don't like the uniform flow, want to have sides facing in opposite direction, all you gotta do is flip a pair. For example, let's grab this, and here's the pin code. Punch R, Z, 180, enter. Again, if wrong direction, just flip sign, RY and rotate it a bit. Push it in, do the same for other side if you wish. And congratulations, you crossed the finish line. Wanna change theme? Easy. Go to material. Let's try white. This one is popular in Egypt too. That's for color. And if you want a different glass, feel free to play with the sliders around to change shades and effects. With a creative combo and your imagination, who knows? You might come up with a quite realistic masterpiece. I prefer black, so I will change back. When done tinkering and ready to call your friends in, go there, click shading, hover your mouse over here, hit shift plus space for a full glorious full screen mode, hit shift plus space again to exit full screen anytime. Awesome! I hope you got value from this crash course. If you enjoyed my content, do me a favor, punch the share button, help me spread the word. Always value your feedback because it helps me improve my content to serve you better. If you got any question, feel free to chat in the comment below. Or slide me a DM over Gab, Minds or Parlor. I post Blender, Linux and graphic related stuff there pretty often. Awesome tools, free whenever possible. Excellent open source apps, handy articles, free assets, props and textures you can take advantage of for your projects, tips and tricks, latest cutting edge courses and tutorial, both free and paid, by the best instructors I found. So follow me there because I think these extra resources will empower your learning journey. Nothing to lose, can always unfollow anytime if you change your mind.